Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where Baku and I talk about everything and anything that interests us. This is a show that we stream live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be previewing trailers, we'll be talking about rumors, answering questions and comments from super chats at the end of the episode.
That's
Baku,
right.
buddy, how are you doing?
Oh, I've been better. It's a lot of school work to do. I'm underestimating how much I have to do for this freaking degree, but
I know.
here we are,
It's
hanging
too
in
late.
there.
You're committed.
I am so committed. Yeah, I'm like almost halfway there. So,
But you know what? I feel like Baku is even more committed to HitPoint because despite all of that, he spent so much time today working on today's show notes and
Oh, Jesus.
working down to the wire. Oh,
I really did.
Wow. I really
was
appreciate
giving,
you.
I think I was giving Derek the scare. He's like, you sure you don't want to push that? I'm like, no, just don't bother me.
I know.
I'm working on I'm like typing. Just don't bother me. Do
I
not
know.
talk to me.
Oh my gosh. I know. I
was in crunch mode.
Yep. It was impressive to see the doc just like filling out like as I was like reading it though. I was like, whoa, this is great. Well, thank you so much for your hard work today, Baku. Dude, how have you been since last week, by the way?
Other than working myself half to death, not bad. I had some really good Indian food today.
Nice.
Really spicy Indian food, which I really like. But other than that, yeah.
That's not gonna
So
haunt
far,
us
so
later
good.
this evening, Art. I'm not gonna have to like solo the show as you run off to like,
Well,
nurse your stomach or something, huh?
No, thankfully, I'm not one of those people who like have like adverse effects, in the stomach area for eating spicy food. A long time ago, people would be like, "Oh, you're eating, Mexican food. Oh, better you're gonna hate going to the toilet afterwards." I was like, "Why?" Like, I didn't understand.
It's like,
I
what?
thought
Don't your digestive systems work?
no, I just thought that they meant like, oh, it's going to be spicy coming in, spicy coming out, which is true.
Sometimes,
but
sure.
Yeah, but I also I didn't know that they also meant that spicy food upsets the stomach and then they have to use the bathroom because that never happens to me. So I never, it's just I could eat the spiciest thing. It'll burn, but like I don't get an upset stomach ever.
Yeah. Well, that's lucky.
So,
it doesn't really give me an upset stomach unless it's something way beyond like what I can normally handle. Like that time that I did like the one chip challenge.
You know what? Okay, no, I take it back. There was one time that it really hit me, but only because I ate something that basically you had to sign a waiver on, and it was the first meal of my day.
Yeah.
So like that combination finally broke me.
Yeah.
But that was that one time, and that's never happened again. So, yeah.
Lucky us.
Yeah, well, lucky us.
Oh, man. So, guys, we have a pretty packed show for you all today. We're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff that happened during the Nintendo Direct. A Nintendo Direct that we didn't even get here in the States. We have all kinds of news to talk about. We even have some like community news and such. But before we dive into all of that stuff, let's go over some of the comments that we ended up getting from last week.
Yes. Okay. So we've got we've got a peanut butter robot on one word who asked, "What's he?" Referring to me, getting a master's in. And peanut butter robot, if you're watching right now, I am getting a Master of Science degree in waifu studies, and I never brought this up. Okay, but I am actually studying at like the #1 university for waifu studies. So I know. It's just,
wow.
I don't like to brag, but it's like the Harvard of waifu studies, if you know what that is. But
Oh well, yeah. It's like the Institute of Waifu Technology. The IWT.
Institute of Waifu Technologies. That's right. Yeah. See, Derek knows. Yeah. No, I don't go to Harvard. I'm saying it is like the Harvard of waifu studies.
Yeah.
Definitely definitely a degree worth getting in.
Is it a mail order waifu sort of
No,
degree
it
study, or
is
is it?
the well, I specialize in what they have concentration. I
Uh-huh.
concentrate in the 2D variety
Oh,
of
okay.
waifus. Yes,
Okay, that's
so
that's where your
yeah,
emphasis
yeah.
is. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
some people specialize in 3D waifus, real life waifus. I
Mhm.
specialize in anime 2D waifus.
Well, I had no
Um,
idea that I was working with someone who was attending a Ivy League
oh,
college. That's pretty impressive. That university, yeah.
yeah. I like I said, I don't like to brag, but if you must know, but I'm also getting a master's in business administration, just on the side,
Oh yeah,
just in case. Yeah,
yeah,
totally not the main thing.
yeah.
Anyways, hopefully that answers the question.
Next up, we got one here from Cooper Malden, who says, Derek and Baku, if you end up reading this, we did. What series or game do you think had cool dungeon alternatives? Some examples are the buildings in Soul Hackers, Soul Matrix and Soul Hackers 2, Digital Worlds in Digimon Cyber Sleuth, or even Amala, Labyrinth, and SMT Nocturne.
Mhm.
I suppose anything that doesn't follow the standard hole in the ground formula. This could even be expanded to discuss the more open area exploration of like SMT5, for instance, compared to prior entries in the series. Uh, I think you really hit on a lot of the ones that immediately came to mind, and some
Mhm.
of them that probably aren't RPGs directly, but like Breath of the Wild kind of did away with the traditional like temples that they had been doing in a lot of the Zelda games,
Mhm.
and I think that it worked okay, but I still kind of prefer the temple, you know. But I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think, Baku?
Okay, so just to excuse me, just to let everyone know, so this actually came as two separate comments. I just condensed it in.
Oh, did it?
Like
Okay.
the first comment asked about it, and then my comment was like, okay, I don't really know what you mean by like dungeon alternatives. So I'm like, hey, if you can give us some examples, maybe we can talk about it. So then the second comment was, well, some examples are
Okay.
buildings and so hackers, so on and so forth. So with that said, yeah, I think the best ones are like the Persona ones that I've seen. Like Persona 4. I haven't played Persona 5, but I played Persona 4. And like Persona 4, it's like every one of these dungeons is basically inside someone's mind. Like I thought that was kind of cool, right? That's definitely
Yeah.
not like your hole in the ground kind of dungeon. Let's not talk about P3 because P3 is just one giant tower that like it's
Yeah.
um
Not my
we
favorite.
don't talk about P3. But P4 is great. I loved it. I couldn't really think of any other examples other than again, I've already talked about it. The one that I really like was um Near Automata in the amusement park. I still think that's like a gold standard for a new kind of dungeons or area that I think more developers should explore these kind of ideas where you go in and this kind of flips the idea of battle on its head. You don't fight things,
Hmm.
but it makes you question what you've been doing up to this point. Super cool.
Yeah. And lately, I've had Golden Sun on the brain, so I kind of want to reach toward those also. Which, I mean,
Mhm.
they did, of course, have dungeons, but they also had certain kinds of, well, they call them like Ayers Rock, for instance, is one of them. It's still
Mm.
just a dungeon, but the way that they were presented as kind of like a series of dungeon, or not dungeons, of puzzles that had to be
Mhm.
solved, and you would like unlock your way as you went. It felt like you were untying a knot as you were making your way closer into the center of the dungeon, which
Mhm.
it's still a dungeon, but it's kind of non-standard. And I think that was even mentioned in last week's comment, which kind of was the impetus for
Yes.
this week's comment. So I feel like
Yes,
I'm just kind
absolutely.
of double dipping on kind of you know non-standard dungeons, but
Hey,
still
it's
kind
okay.
of
Yeah.
standard.
I-
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, I double
Oh,
dip on near, so we're good.
oh, you know what? I will say Alundra might be kind of interesting because I know, Baku, you're not a fan of Alundra, but some of those dungeons took place inside the minds of people who were like having bad dreams, if you remember
That
that,
is true. Yeah.
which I think is kind of a neat concept and also tangentially related and probably even somewhat inspirational of some of what Persona would eventually do in 4 and 5.
It
So
is a really cool concept. I'll give
mhm.
them that.
I got
Still
Baku to
hate
say
the
something
game.
nice about Alundra.
Still.
That's it though. I don't.
That's all you're getting. Don't push your luck.
Yep.
All right. Next comment we got is from Martin. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Oh, yeah. So Martino Magic,
Mhm.
who says, "I wish I was excited for Yggdra Union yet again, but I'm not. It was my favorite of those three Sting games, but they have re-released it like what 5, 6 times now. What I don't understand that I'm not sure people realize, but there are two more games in the Union series. One called Blaze Union, and another one I think both came on PS Vita only in
Mm.
Japan.
Mhm.
Why don't they stop milking the same games over and over again? Why not release the one that we never got here? I thought that was a pretty good comment, even though I
Yeah.
don't agree with it. I did want to bring it up because we will revisit this topic later on um in the show.
Sure.
It'll
Okay.
come up and you'll see it. Um, Basically, my stance is I don't think this one is necessarily milking it. They're just releasing on a platform that doesn't exist before, so that people have more ways to get the game. And the asking price is not egregious, like $20.
Oh, okay.
Do I think they can do better? Sure, but I also feel like they'll come into discount like pretty soon. So yeah, it's
Sure.
20, but give it like 3 weeks and it's gonna be like $15 before you know it, right?
Yeah.
So I
And
don't think it's yeah.
I will also say though that like um if you have three games
Mhm.
and one of them's already been localized and you're not sure how well the others are going to do, but you know that one is probably going to do pretty well and it's already ready to go. This is a great way to test the waters, see if people are interested in it. If it does well, you have an excuse as well as the funding secured to perform a localization because localizations are not cheap.
It
They
costs money.
it's almost, I won't say it's almost as much as like making a game in and of itself,
Mhm.
but it's like it's a significant undertaking, and I mean, especially if you're paying talented people to do it.
Yeah.
Um
Well,
and you should.
we've seen what happens when you don't.
Yep. I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually, maybe someday they'll just throw a script at Chat GPT or something, and then have
Oh yeah. No,
Amazon
that
have Amazon use their AI voiceover people to. And
what is it? Bard? Brad? Bard.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's at some point maybe it'll be like a 5 minute process, but
Mhm.
until then, um,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
and honestly, I hope it never gets to be that point, but I feel like it probably will be, and I hate that.
Yeah, the and to your point, right? Like that game was ready to go and basically fully
Rated
translated
in the
localized.
US, it's
Yeah,
already gone
yeah,
through the
all that.
ESRB. It's a lot of the red tape has already been cleared. So
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
definitely just one quicker way to,
yeah, I don't even know if the other Union games were even released on any modern platform because if it hadn't, that means that they have to do some kind of remaster. Because otherwise, if you release it as is, people are gonna riot. How dare you ask for money and like not do anything like what is it improvement on it? You just it's a straight port, gross. Yeah, we've seen those before. We've seen
Mhm.
that happen. So yes, they do have to spend money to do all the HD remastering and then the localization and then getting it to on the platform, which also costs money to do like legal work and stuff. So
Yep.
yeah, it's an investment. But yeah, but do I want to see those in Steam or say, for example? Absolutely. So that's where we like agree. Do I want to see Blaze Union on Steam? You bet. Do I want to see like Reverie on Steam? You bet. Like all those like Department Heavens game, like I want to see all of them on Steam, but one step at a time. So let's encourage the process. And hopefully they'll bring those games to us if they see that there's potential.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move along to a voicemail that we got here, uh, which is pretty interesting, I think.
Hey
Mhm.
guys, I'm Jeremy and I live in Paris, France, near the Eiffel Tower. And it's always a pleasure to listen to your podcast while playing JRPGs. I actually listened to your last one while playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is much better than what I could have expected considering the mixed reviews that this game has received. I have one question for you guys. What is a JRPG series that you have tried to get into but never really could? Maybe it was overhyped or you just couldn't grasp what everybody was enjoying about it? Because as far as I'm concerned, I recently tried the Kingdom Hearts series on the Nintendo Switch,
Mhm.
but I quit after a few hours and I raged about the lousy camera and the boring gameplay. Should I give it another shot and try another entry in that series, or is it better to just try something else on my backlog? Thanks again for your podcast, guys, and your amazing work that you put into it. Cheers from France. Salut.
Yeah,
Cheers.
salute to you too, man. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it and appreciate the good laughs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now that is,
you know,
I will
I'm
say,
only laughing.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm only laughing because the question and the game that he was playing is probably the one that you're gonna end up talking about for yourself. Yeah, sorry, but no, but
Well,
go ahead. What game did you not get into?
oh, well, I was going to say before, I wanted to preface this with, by the way, that voicemail did not come into our voicemail line at 75-337-3805, but is one of those several voicemails that I found piled up in the mailbox, which is why it has impeccable audio quality.
Oh yeah,
Just throwing that out there.
that sounded really good. I was like, what's going on?
Yep. So, I thought about like running it through a phone filter to kind of, knock it down a peg, but whatever, it's fine. Anyways,
No,
so
it's great. Yeah.
a game series that I couldn't get into. I did get
Mhm.
into Kingdom Hearts. There were a couple of games, one especially that frustrated the heck out of me. And some people still really enjoy it. And
Mhm.
so I don't want to talk about that one too much.
Mhm.
I think though that I will say tangentially related to the same voicemail, the one that I had a hard time really getting into, and it's been a
Mhm.
really long time. Ever since I started this YouTube channel, every time I've set out to finish a game, I have finished it and almost always found something appreciate on the way out. Um,
Mhm.
but right before I started my show, the game collection, I tried Xenoblade Chronicles, and I just couldn't get into it. It was the combat specifically, and this was back before I had broadened many of my horizons. This is like about a decade ago, back
Mhm.
when Xenoblade Chronicles first came out. So I think that would be the one that I would kind of lean toward as being a series that I would like to try to get into again at some point. But during my initial attempts, kind of didn't get very far. On a similar line of reasoning, uh, Final Fantasy 12 was one that when I played it, I got pretty far. I met Sid, if that gives anybody a frame of reference as to like how far I got into the game, and then I just kind of dropped it because I was like the combat just does not appeal to me. But that is something again I haven't tried in over 10 years, and I would like to try to make my way back to it at some point and see if
Mhm.
maybe if my my brain as it is now would enjoy the game more, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think you're missing out on the story. I totally understand the combat aspect though, because it does take a second to adjust compared to like purely action RPG
Hmm.
versus like turn-based. It's kind of like somewhere in the middle,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
it's kind of like MMO-ish.
That's exactly where my mind went when I
Yeah.
started playing around with it, and I
Mhm.
think that's what really gave me a knee jerk aversion to it was because I don't I don't have any love for MMO RPGs
Mhm.
or their mechanics. The whole like you just move your character in range and they just start attacking, you know, on a cooldown basis. Like you don't push a button, it just does stuff. It just felt so stupid. I don't know. That's how it felt then. I might
Mhm.
think differently now, but then I
Maybe.
really just couldn't get into them. And yeah. So
Maybe.
at some point I'd like to
Yeah.
try it out again though. What do you think? What do you think, Baku? What's your game that you could not get into?
There are a good several. Basically any first person dungeon crawler I cannot get into for reasons that are more psychological than anything, because as soon as I see that like viewer vision, it just feels like I am like trapped in somewhere, and
Oh.
that like claustrophobic kind of like feeling sets in, and like I just don't enjoy it. Like I don't like hyperventilate or anything, but like I just don't enjoy that like
Mhm.
view.
Yeah.
So like anything like Mary Skelter, which people have told me is pretty good. A game that we're going to talk about later in the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I could not get into. Yeah, any first person dungeon crawler.
Does
I
it
have
change at all when you're playing a first person RPG in general? Like, have you tried Oblivion or Skyrim or one of the
no,
Western styles?
I played the last first person RPG that I played was Ghostwire Tokyo, and that
Mhm.
was fine. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just that kind of like you kind of take like a step at a time, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
like they're just constantly just these walls like to your
Specifically the
side,
dungeon
like
crawler.
God. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Um,
I get that.
uh,
I
yeah.
only played one of them so far. It
Mhm,
was the original Fantasy Star.
mhm.
I got through it and it was okay. But yeah, it's not my preference. Making a map, step by step, not my ideal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And I think probably the biggest franchise of games that I just couldn't get myself into would be like SMT.
Mhm.
I can't. I tried one a long time ago. It just like didn't click with me.
Hmm.
The
What are the
the, the
was because that was one of the also like first person dungeon crawlers, right?
even the ones that are not first person dungeon crawlers just like didn't
Hmm.
click. Yeah,
Really?
just for whatever reason I just like didn't feel like it's kind of like Pokemon, but then so there's this weird collecting thing, and then
Mhm.
there's like the demon aspect and the art I was like not necessarily a fan of. It's like there's nothing there that I really want to make me continue, and it was hard as heck.
Yeah.
So now you've got a game that was really hard that I don't have incentives to continue.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's bad.
It's just not for you. Yeah.
It's just not for me. Yeah, like
And
Alundra, but
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Speaking of games you couldn't get into, but you know what? We're gonna stop. We're gonna
Yeah.
stop talking poorly of games that other people love, because we're gonna start trying to talk about some cool stuff
yeah.
happening. Like,
Yeah.
because that's one of the downsides of answering questions like this, is it
Mhm.
always feels like I'm all right. This is
Yeah, we're not
inadvertently end up dogpiling
bashing
games.
any of these
Yeah.
games. We're just saying that it wasn't for us. In no ways are we saying they're bad. Like SMT is not bad just because I couldn't get into it.
But yeah, thank you so much for that voicemail. And if you have a voicemail that you would like to send us, you may do so at 785-337-3805, or you can send us a voicemail to hitpoint@superderekRPGs.com, and we'll have a chance to play it on the air, and you'll avoid the international dialing fees that may accompany regular voicemails. It might just take me, half a year to get to it. My
Yeah,
bad.
well, not if we can help it now. I'm just gonna ask Derek to check his like email like every time now. Every week I'm like, did you check your mailbox? Did you check your mailbox? Thank you so much again. That was a good voicemail. I
It was.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we can formally start the show with some bad news. Oh, Derek already switched over to the delays.
That's
This
right.
one, that sounds kind of a delay. Look, if you're one of those people who are like super excited to
Mhm.
hold R2 to hold hands in Eternights, you might have to wait a little bit longer. The developers just announced that the post-apocalyptic dating simulation / RPG has moved its release window from early 2023 to summer 2023. So,
Oh.
like early to mid.
Oh,
But they
okay.
did give us a new trailer to look at, so there's that.
Okay. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
let's take a look at the trailer then. And because I think this sounds vaguely familiar, but it's
Just
been a
to
little while.
refresh our memories about I Yeah, I'll never get
Oh,
over the
yeah.
press R2 to hold hands.
Oh
I will
gosh.
forget everything else about
forgotten
this,
one.
but not the R2 to hold hands bit. Oh, they've got to show us that again. They have to show us that again. Oh, you know what? The gameplay looks way better here than the first time we saw it. The first time I was like, I'm a lot more excited about this now. It actually looks a lot better.
Yeah, that does look cool. Okay, it's got some timing-based text there.
This is an indie game too, so I get them a little slack. This is not like a large budget, like, you know, developer. Oh, that's some Persona looking monster there.
And it has like a date system there as well. Did you notice that?
Hold R2 to hold hands. Come on, what are you doing? Show us the hand holding.
Man.
Dang it! I wanted to see hand holdings.
Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait a little while longer for those R2 hand holdings. But that's
very lewd. Very lewd.
Oh man, such lewdness, I know.
Yeah. So yeah, midsummer. From early 2023 to midsummer. So still no exact date, but we'll see soon.
All right. Well.
All right.
You know what? I actually loaded up something to use earlier in the stream, just to let everybody know, because we have a lot of news to cover. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I meant to use this at the very beginning of the show to let everybody know that this is going to be a really long stream.
Long.
Oh yes.
Long. It's gonna be a long stream.
It's gonna be a long stream because we have a lot of upcoming releases, a lot of Nintendo of America announcements, a lot of Nintendo of Japan announcements. We have so much to do, and so we're finally moving along from game delays to games that are actually coming out this week, which is a lot.
Quite a few.
Well, yeah. I mean, it feels like a lot. Especially when you consider some other things that came out this week that we'll talk a little bit after. Yeah, it's going to be a minute. But so let's start with Labyrinth of Galleria, the Moon Society. This is NISA's newest dungeon crawler RPG, Labyrinth of Galleria. Or is it Galleria? I think it's Galleria.
Galleria?
Probably
Galleria. Yeah.
I mean,
Galleria.
I mean, it's probably Galleria. But I know part of me wants to say Galleria just because, you know.
Sounds more like a name.
Exactly. It sounds more like a place. Anyways, so it's coming out on Valentine's Day, which is 2 days away, guys. Valentine's Day is 2 days away. Valentine's Day is
nothing to do.
Just so you know, it's 2 days away. Hint, hint. Don't
look, listen, if you're one of those people like me who has absolutely nothing to do on that day, play this game instead.
In case you forgot, like somebody who hosts this show might have forgotten. It's on Tuesday. And it's coming out on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. And we have a trailer on the game to take a look at.
That's right. Oh, that warning just now.
I know. It's like I had to extend the ESRB warning, add more lines to it.
Yeah, don't worry. The trailer doesn't have anything like horrific. Partial nudity, sexual themes, blood. Like what?
Hey, it's perfect for Halloween. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. It's like Halloween but different. You get candy.
Yeah. You know, you could get this for your JRPG loving significant other. Maybe, I don't know. Like, some of you are seeing people who likes RPGs, right? Yeah? No? Do they exist?
This does look pretty interesting as far as like a first-person dungeon crawler goes.
It does look really good.
It looks like they're doing more than just, you know, your standard. Like, it looks like it's got a little bit extra camera movement, which might help with some of that claustrophobic feel. Maybe.
Oh, and if anyone is like, why does this sound like the Skya music? It's because it's the same people.
Yeah.
The art even looks very identical.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if characters from this game will show up in Disgaea in a DLC because, as per their tradition,
Yeah, things tend to cross-pollinate.
yeah, tend to cross into Disgaea.
I'm pretty sure.
specifically.
Are some of these characters from Disgaea?
Maybe.
Like looking at the bottom there, it kind of looks like some of them look really familiar.
Boy, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Nipponichi likes like mix and matching with their characters and have like a lot of internal crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I welcome it. I'm a fan. Yeah. It also gets people to like play their other games. Like, say you're playing Disgaea, you get this DLC character, and you're just like, "Oh, this character is really cool. Where did they come from?" Boom! They just got you like a lead into like another game that they've already made. It's pretty smart, in my opinion.
It's kind of like all the shows that I have on my YouTube channel. Basically, it's like, oh, who's the Super Derek guy? Oh, well, he's from the show called The Game Collection and these other things.
Oh,
And once you get started on HitPoint, you can look at other stuff too.
that is true.
And
And
almost exactly like that.
what is it called? Experience porn. Yeah, you gotta check that out.
Speaking of which, I actually have, depending on how long tonight's episode goes, I'm probably gonna finish editing a video tonight to put out tomorrow.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna burn the midnight oil, but
A Monday video?
that's what I'm hoping for. No promises. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. I think this is from Astrolabe Games, isn't that right?
Astrolabe Games. Yeah, I misspelled that. Astrolabes. Yeah, so a chibi style action RPG from Astrolabe Games called Souls of Chronos.
Mhm.
It's coming out also on Valentine's Day. That's February 14th. For those of you who don't know when Valentine's Day is.
Oh my gosh, is it really? It's just 2 days away.
It's
Oh my goodness.
only 2 days away.
Well, good to know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and this game is coming on PS5, Switch, and PC via Steam. Let's take a look to see what this game is about.
All right, let's pull that up here. Oh, we're gonna get DMCA'd. Just kidding.
I hope not.
Probably not.
I'm gonna write to them. Yeah.
So this is a bit of chibi kind of art, but also
Yeah.
some regular anime looking stuff here.
Anime looking.
Mm-hmm.
It's got strong indie games vibe, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put you in the indie games category.
Sure, yeah. Mentally, that's definitely how I'm approaching it so far.
Yeah. You know what? It's got that, like, I don't know if anyone's ever played what's that game called? Ragnarok. From like way back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know, if anyone's played Ragnarok, like I get that like strong like Ragnarok kind of vibe. Like it's got that like graphics from that era of games. So if that's something that you're into, I think this is pretty cool. It's like a chibi action RPG. Yeah, looks pretty solid. Again, coming out on February 14 on PS5, which I'm actually very surprised that is coming on PS5. I was like,
Yep.
PS4 is like, no, PS5. Like, huh, okay. The Switch and PC. So
Yeah.
check
It
that out.
needs that SSD. That's why it's on.
Yeah. It's like,
But we have another game here to talk about here, and that is Final Fantasy Theatrhythm Final Bar Line. Now, this is a game that I have not played much of, and I know that a lot of people here probably haven't played any of. I will
Mhm.
say that I've heard really great things about it. Before I'd actually dive into any of the specifics here, I've heard great things about it, and that it is not just a rhythm game, and that it is also an RPG in addition to being a rhythm-based game, which is pretty interesting. So,
no, it's totally just a rhythm game. Whoever told you it's an RPG was wrong.
no. There's different ways of. Well, anyways, keep an eye out for a video from maybe Backlog Battle, who might talk about it.
Oh, Dad, you mean the new game?
Yes, the new game.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about the old one. I was like, what? Oh,
So-
okay. Yeah.
If you liked Theatrhythm on 3DS, you're probably going to really love Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, coming out on the 16th here for PS4 and Switch. The game will launch with 385 different songs, and the base game at launch, 27 songs are available only in the digital deluxe edition and the premium edition of the game. So there will be, let's see, 3 additional DLCs, each with 30 songs, adding to the grand total of 502 tracks if you buy absolutely everything, which is
502 songs is massive.
I will say 502 songs is pretty dang generous if you ever look at like what does it cost to just buy a soundtrack from Square Enix. Like buy it in video game form. Like if you bought them just as albums, I mean, you'd be spending over $500, I'm sure, if you bought like each one from like iTunes or something. But anyways, now you can own the games sort of in video game format. Oh, and there's also
I hope I counted it right too.
there's a yeah, I hope you did too. I don't know. I'm trusting what you wrote here. But anyways, the demo, by the way, is currently available and has 30 songs right now that you can try out if you are on the fence.
Yeah.
We also have a trailer we can check out if you want to see this
what
game
the
in
gameplay
some
looks
action.
like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because it's apparently, as it's been described to me, like it is also, it's like there's ways that you can finish the song while still like not defeating the boss that you're fighting, which is kind of interesting. Like there are
yeah, I don't know how the new game is different from the previous game, so I shouldn't. Yeah, like what I was saying earlier was just completely about the old game.
Yeah.
Which is not this.
Or alternatively, I could totally have also misunderstood what that person was trying to tell me about the game, but they sounded really enthusiastic. And it makes me want to be enthusiastic about the game too. So check it out if you think that enthusiasm is good.
Yeah, no, this is a really good game if you're a fan of like, you know, the Square Enix music. And I know a lot of us are big fans of you say what you want about Square Enix about the gameplay, but their music usually hits pretty hard. So yeah, if you like rhythm game and Square Enix music, you're not going to want to miss this. All right. Next up, we got this like huge game from these huge companies that like for whatever reason I haven't heard that much noise about. We're talking about Wild Hearts, the feudal Japan-inspired Monster Hunter killer, developed by Omega Force.
They're not calling it a Monster Hunter killer, are they?
Oh well, that's what they're framing it as.
Like, did they call it a killer? Because it's like, or is it just like a knockoff or a competitor? Because I mean,
I don't think they had explicitly said it, but I've definitely heard it in the like you know, game journalism sphere, if that makes sense. Yes,
okay.
Someone has called it the Monster Hunter killer. I don't blame them. I don't blame them.
Quick reminder to hype responsibly here.
Yeah. I mean, you get Omega Force here, which, again, for those who don't know, Omega Force, they're the ones who worked on Ninja Gaiden and such from Koei Tepco. So it's not like they're just some random house of random team of people who doesn't know how to do action games. They know how to do a good action game.
Sure.
But it's also published by EA, which gives me a lot of pause. I never thought in the times of us doing HitPoint, I'll ever cover a game published by EA. But here we are. So
here we are.
Wild Hearts, yes. So that's coming out 2 days after Valentine's Day on the 16th of this month for PS5, Xbox Series XS, and PC. So only the newest, baddest graphics engine will do this game justice, apparently. We'll take a look at the trailer and we'll see what that's about. So this is like a 5 minutes battle trailer. We don't have to watch the whole thing, of course.
Sure.
But I just want to find something so that you can see what the gameplay is actually like. So yes, very much
Monster Hunter with like helicopters, weird little like. I remember this now. I think we talked about like there's like different things you could use and build.
You can like craft like on the spot apparently.
Yeah,
which I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah.
But it's totally got some inspirations, let's just say.
Yeah. It's and those inspirations, if I had to guess, were based on the original Fortnite and Monster Hunter. Like it's like EA was probably like, this is cool and all, but have you looked at Fortnite? Meanwhile, Fortnite's like, yeah, let's get rid of that building mechanic.
Yeah, I want to see them craft stuff though, because like I can't say for sure if that's the case until I see it.
Well, it depends. Are they crafting in real time, or is it
Oh,
like,
like right that there you go.
Yep, there it is.
Huh.
I'm
not mad at it. I mean, if it works, I mean, yeah.
Sure.
Games borrow different
It just
games for
looks
inspiration all the time.
It just looks so immersion breaking. Here's the thing that will literally build itself from like I don't know. As an RPG enthusiast, as a person who loves immersion in my video games, that is like the antithesis of immersion.
We've seen weirder things, haven't we?
No.
Let's see. What I was gonna say, yeah. So their whole thing was, oh yeah, there are these giant monsters called kemono, which are that tiger that you're seeing right now, and the only way for humanity to fight back is through their like some kind of like ingenuity, right? And that's where that like building mechanics come from. So
it looks really cool. I'll say that much. Like the visuals are impressive. That monster looks freaking cool. Yeah. I think that the wooden items like building themselves is silly. It is silly.
I'm not mad at it. I've seen weirder things. It's okay.
I mean, sure, I guess in an alternate universe, Super Derek is being introduced to zombies for the first time, and I'm like, that just is so immersion breaking. Dead things they can't move because they're dead. Like that's
right.
Like that's the alternate version of this happening in another world, but I don't know.
Yeah,
something about
it actually looks pretty good.
Something about it does not jive with me, but maybe it's because I'm a hater of Fortnite and everything it represents, and this just looks like the Fortniteification of
Monster
a video
Hunter
game series that I also just don't really have a whole lot of investment in, if I'm being totally honest. That's another game.
That's a double whammy right there.
That's another RPG or another game series that I just haven't personally gotten into at all.
You know what? Yes.
Despite everything, yeah.
That what? I'm with you. That is another series that I never got into. Albeit I've never tried Monster Hunter. It's just the concept of it I couldn't get behind. Yeah. I've seen my friends play it. My friends love the game, and they play with each other.
I feel the need to mention this because we have somebody in the chat who's mentioned this a couple times, so I'll say it.
What?
They're saying that Katakuri existed before Fortnite, and that this is in fact lore friendly with Katakuri. So I don't know anything about that, but that was my initial, yes, it's so. Take everything I just said and throw it out the window.
See? Look at that.
But I still have a gut level aversion, just because it's not my style of game on either level.
Yeah.
So
I'll say it's not my style either. But I know that a lot of folks are definitely gonna be
some people will be over the moon about that game for sure. And
I think
I will still talk about it as it receives updates and DLC and microtransactions and other DLC from EA getting forced down your throat. We will talk about them every time until it never leaves the news cycle.
Fingers crossed. I think this game looks hecka cool.
Seriously, let's hope that EA doesn't ruin it. I really hope they don't.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. As soon as I saw that EA is publishing this, I was like, ugh. I'm like, seriously, Koei Tecmo, you can't publish this yourself. You need EA. Like, you couldn't partner with anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
Anyways.
Hey, great news.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's up?
Great news for you.
Yeah. What you got?
Tales of Symphonia Remaster. It's coming out on the 17th.
Oh, okay. Cool. Moving on. New game announcements.
All right, new game announcements.
So our friends over at Something Classic reached out to us to let us know that the demo for My Familiar, which we covered last week, is actually now available on their website. So you're welcome. I got some folks asking me about it. So here you are. My Familiar demo is actually now available over at their website. They've also kindly let us know that the demo will be available shortly on Steam as soon as Valve approves, which kind of a shame because they're doing like the Steam Next Fest right now. Like if their demo was on, it would be part of the Next Fest. So yikes. I guess somebody missed that timing there. But hey, it will be on shortly. So we'll probably let you guys know when that's available. But yeah, we'll link the description to their website down below.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. So next up, we've got WitchSpring R.
Yeah.
So Baku was browsing through the Next Fest and found. Oh well, I guess. Do you want to talk about this one? I guess.
Yeah, I'll take this one. Yeah. So
All
speaking of Next Fest, I was browsing through all the different trailers and such, and before I know it, I was playing a couple of these demos, and I came upon one game that I don't think I've ever talked about, and that game is WitchSpring R. Is a weird name, I know. And this is coming from a Korean studio called Kiwi Walks. And I didn't know this, but this is actually a series of RPGs. And I guess I didn't know it before because they were typically on phones, right? And I guess they may or may not have ever left Korea. But this one is for console, and this one's on Steam, and it's coming soon. So we should talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with just taking a look at the trailer then?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Okay.
Actually looks really good.
Yeah.
It's on the cute side, yeah, but
yeah, that sounds adorable too.
Now I don't know too much about this series, so if someone in the if someone who's watching this has ever played it, but from what I've read, it is a series of games about like raising like witches like in this world. Not like the scary kind of witch,
Yeah. Well, you know what?
It's kind of cute.
If this ever did leave Korea, this might not be a bad series to look into if you're in, one of those areas where computers or consoles are, too expensive to acquire.
Well, this one, and the reason why we're covering it is because it's on Steam, so it's on PC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and you could. I'm just wondering if there's other versions of this that might be available for people in like Brazil, for instance. Or...
Oh yeah, that's right. I think it's called like Spring Witch 4. I'm gonna look it up. There was one that was being released recently. Yeah, so this one at least, WitchSpring R. This one's coming out sometime in 2023. No hard release date, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one.
Awesome. All right. Well, Monster Menu next is the one that we're going to be talking about. It's a Monster Menu, the Scavenger's Cookbook. This was just announced by NISA, and they gave us a release date and a new trailer for their upcoming Monster Eating RPG. Oh, that's the one. I remember. It sounded familiar, and then as soon as we said Monster Eating RPG,
yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yep. This is the one where you dive into dungeons, and you're forced to eat the monsters that you slay in order to stay alive. This is going to be great. Let's take a look at the trailer.
I thought it was a pretty cool
interesting concept.
Pretty cool concept, yeah.
I mean, have you ever tried to eat a beholder before? They might
Have you ever
delicious.
gotten stuck in a dungeon before? I mean, come on.
I mean,
You out of supplies? You have no food? What are you
but
gonna
would
do?
you wouldn't resort to cannibalism? Surely before that you would resort to eating
Right.
all of the monsters that are in the dungeon, right?
And they're eating the monster. They're like,
Yeah. I
not
mean, look, that's
bad.
that looks like a giant bug. You know what else is like a giant bug? Lobsters. And other crustaceans and such. They're basically just
Suddenly you're
overgrown
falling
bugs.
unconscious. What? Oh. Okay, so in this game, when you snack on like monster meat, you're supposed to gain like abilities.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool.
So this is all about like eating monsters, cooking them, finding ways to prepare them that won't make you throw up.
It's pretty cool. I mean, there has been a couple of like isekai anime that I've seen where the main character resorted to eating monster one way or another, and they did like absorb their power through like, you know, consuming monster, like you are what you eat kind of deal.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is kind of like that, except without the isekai you know, element. That's kind of how I look at it.
Well, that's too bad. Isekai would be, you know,
Would be
added to
appropriate.
anything. Could you imagine an isekai podcast?
Isekai podcast.
Yeah, just a podcast made by people who were new to the world that they were making the podcast in.
That would be fun.
A podcast about stupid stuff that they encountered for the first time as they, yeah, because they're from a different world.
I'm not gonna lie. Now that I see like the battle of this game, I'm actually more inclined to play it. Before I was kind of like, I don't know if this is something I want to play. But now that I see the battle system, it's like it's kind of
It's inoffensive, I'll say, at least.
it's kind of like tactical like RPG, which I like. But like I feel like it's gonna be something similar to the older Trails game where you like walk in a field, random battle, and boom, like you in like grids. Except unlike Trails, I think it's gonna be like an open area where you like immediately battle them. You don't like go into like a battle sequence, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you fight right on the map, and like all the elevations, like you know, all that goes right into your battlefield.
Okay, that is pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that game actually pans out. But I'm actually way more interested now that I see the battle system.
Yeah. Well, if you're interested, keep an eye out because it's coming out on May 23rd in 2023 here.
We got some
it's
time.
coming out on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, as well as the Nintendo Switch. The regular and limited editions are available for pre-order right now from the NISA store, and the limited edition comes with an apron and salt and pepper shakers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Look, talking about practical,
thoughtful, and practical. Yeah, it's a collector's edition of things you could actually use, as opposed to like my Persona 5 came with like a bag. I wouldn't trust it to carry a single textbook. Like it feels like you put something in it, it's just gonna fall out the bottom.
Man,
it's a prop, but
yeah. Well, the only way to make it better is it comes with monster meat. Like what?
Oh,
it's actually
somebody said it should have came with a cookbook. That would be awesome.
A cookbook? No, that's extra. They're gonna sell you a cookbook later.
Oh, sure,
okay,
sure. But the problem is you can only use items and monsters from within the game.
You know what they would probably actually do if this game becomes like a hit? So Japan likes to release like these cookbooks for like from like imaginary worlds or fictional works. So like Shokugeki, obviously that food anime.
Oh,
they have a cookbook for that. That's more obvious. They also have a cookbook from Monster Hunter. They have a cookbook from Final Fantasy 14. So like a lot of these like fictional worlds where they have these like food dishes, they have actual cookbooks that you can buy right now on Amazon with dishes that are inspired by the dishes that they show in the game, and they'll show you step by step how to make those.
I wonder if there's a Breath of the Wild cookbook.
But maybe you should look it up.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's pretty cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But hey, if this game ever becomes a hit, I think they might just do a cookbook for it. All right. Time to dive into what drove me crazy this week, because as soon as I saw that there was a Nintendo Direct, part of me was like, fingers crossed that there's like no crazy news, because then I have to write a lot of it. But then part of me is like, I want to have like good news that I can take with me, but then I also have to write a whole ton of like stuff for HitPoint. So I was a little conflicted.
Ideally, we'll get like one or two cool pieces of things to talk about, and then it's just a normal episode.
Hey,
but we know that it's not a normal episode because it is
Long.
it is a long podcast today. Thank you, Nintendo.
All right, let's go. Starting with a game that I didn't expect coming. Sega surprised us with a game that, it's making a comeback with a sequel. And this newest game to the Samba de Amigo series, and it's called Samba de Amigo Party Central. This new title will have 40 songs and local and online play. So that's pretty cool. I mean, I expected local play. That's basically the rhythm games typically have something like that for compete. But online play, that's nice. It's nice to have online play, so you can play with your friends, across some distances. COVID has not ended yet, so some of us might be still stuck at home.
There will be trailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see what
this
is all about here.
Have you never seen the Samba de Amigo series?
No.
You have not?
No.
So remember, there was a time in the history where like companies will make instruments for games.
Yes.
They had actual maracas for this game. So like Rock Band had like guitars and such and drum sets. Well, this one had maracas. And you actually played with the maracas.
I was quite the Guitar Hero fan back in the day.
Oh yeah?
Uh-huh. I was pretty good.
I think this game is actually pretty perfect for the Switch because of the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like a no-brainer.
With the HD rumble within each of them, I wonder if you could actually feel the maraca like beads at all.
Oh, that would be cool. I don't know if the Joy-Con is capable of some like this kind of like fine tactile.
Well, they say they have HD rumble. I mean, but I'm sure not all HD rumble is created equally, right?
Yeah, Nintendo HD rumble is only up to 720p. If you got it, you got it. Mr. Val is laughing. He hates the Switch. Anyways, so more songs will be coming in future DLCs in case those 40 songs cannot satiate your Samba fix. Man, like,
wow.
Boy, 40 songs sounds like nothing after talking about the Final Fantasy game. It's got like 500 songs.
I was gonna say, how much are they selling this Samba de Amigo for? Like,
I have no idea. I didn't look up how much they're selling it for. But the pre-order is available, so if you want to look it up, you can. And the game will be coming out in summer 2023 for only the Switch, because you need the Joy-Con and such.
That's right. All right, so moving along, we've got a game from Capcom called Ghost Trick Phantom-Detektiv. Capcom is bringing this Nintendo DS game Ghost Trick Phantom-Detektiv back from the dead and onto modern platforms. Well done, Baku. Can I say?
I hate it that you happened to pick the one that had the pun in it.
I'm just excited.
I did not plan this.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Man. All right, let's go ahead and see what this is all about. Because
the one time I wrote a pun in there and I didn't get it, was 50-50 chance that
I wonder, do I have Ghost Trick? I think I might.
Okay. So this game, you You die and your soul leaves your body, and like you can help people survive by manipulating objects in the area. Yeah. So it's gonna explain to you how the game works. You're the only one who can save her. Ooh, from the Ace Attorney creator Shu Takumi, bringing this game back from the dead. So they figured out how to work this game from a dual screen onto just one screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you can like manipulate like items in your vicinity. So you can like open a thing, roll a tire. It's kind of like you have to figure out what you need to do, basically.
Oh, okay. Super cool.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of games that were made for the DS and the 3DS that are like trapped on those consoles now because of the gimmick.
Yeah, so take a look at that. So you ring the bell. Yeah, and then like every time you do like an action, like it eats up like your time meter, if you will.
Yeah. Interesting. So it's kind of like a...
Isn't that pretty cool?
Yeah. Reminds me a lot of older games that had like... Oh, what were they called? They were just sandbox games with different like physics. I remember they were big when the Wii just came out and people were like, oh yeah, here's some physics stuff. Yeah. Sandbox.
Oh, this is a way better trailer than the one that they showed in Nintendo, by the way. Yeah, as much as I can, I try to find like the official trailer from the company and not like the Nintendo version.
Yeah.
Like no disrespect to Nintendo, but like they cut a lot of stuff short. I think this one did a way better job explaining what the game is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty rad. So you can look forward to that coming out in summer of 2023 for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam.
All right. This
Speaking
next
of
game,
Back from the Dead.
Oh, hi. Yes.
Yep.
What
Speaking
else?
of Back from the Dead. Level 5 is Back from the Dead. Go for it.
Level 5 is Back from the Dead? Wait, when was the last time Level 5 made a game?
It's like Ni no Kuni 2 or something, right?
Really?
It's been up. It feels like it's been forever. I mean, except for maybe Yokai Watch. They also did the Yokai Watch games.
Oh, right.
But it's like, as far as I'm concerned, they're dead to me.
Yeah, well, Level 5 apparently is not dead, and they just show off their newest detective and turn-based RPG called Decapolice, also on the Nintendo Direct. So let's take a look at that first, and then we can talk about it.
Okay, let's pull up the trailer here.
That's some good music.
That looks really good visually. Kind of has this very like 70s anime style aesthetic to it, I think.
Yeah. You know what that reminded me of? Like as they're running around, it looked like Super Mario, like the new one.
Oh yeah.
You know, where like he was running around like a city that's like kind of modeled after New York City. At the same vibe just now. It looks so. This looks so freaking good. Like I don't know what it is about it, but the aesthetics, it just looks so well put together.
Yes, it looks very stylish, and it's level 5, man. Level 5. They did Dragon Quest VIII. They did Dark Cloud, Rogue Galaxy. I'm glad to see them like making games again that I'm interested
that
in.
turn-based mechanics. Whoever's the turn-based games are dead. You know?
Yeah.
I just really need them to eat their words. Turn-based games is not dead.
That looks.
The action games are not
so
taking
cool.
over.
No.
I mean, yes, we have more action games now, but dude, plenty of good turn-based RPGs coming out. This is just one of them. Yeah. So, wow. Just it. Okay, so I think that's probably the most exciting thing that I saw that I didn't expect because I didn't. Well, first of all, I didn't even know that Level 5 still make games.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were still making games. But here we are. I guess they're not what is it? They're
They're
not
not dead yet.
they're not in the same boat as a certain company that made Star Ocean, you know? Like they're not
Oh
they're
no,
not
no, not
like
one foot in the grave or anything.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, definitely. Like they've been doing okay. I mean, Yokai Watch I think was pretty popular,
Mhm.
at least in some demographics, just not mine.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that they are re-entering my periphery here. So very excited
Yeah.
to see that.
I think Yokai Watch is pretty localized in Japan. It never hit big outside of Japan, but inside Japan, people still like Yokai Watch very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm hoping that
Uh,
this is going to help them see larger, widespread outside of Japan's success, because it's super cool. Still looks
mhm.
very, very Japanese, but at least like it won't rely on your enthusiasm or lore for yokai this time, right?
That's right. And if you're like Mr. Invalid, you'd be happy to know that this game is coming out on PS4, 5, and of course the Switch, because this is
Oh,
Nintendo Direct. But it's
sweet,
coming out on PS4 and 5. So there you go. You don't
nice.
have to complain about it being Switch only.
I bet
Sometime
that'll
in
look really good on
2023,
PS5. I bet it will.
I think it's gonna look fantastic on the Switch.
It'll probably look fantastic on Switch too. But I think that like the enhanced resolution on like cell shaded games
Yeah,
always look good. And in level
let's not
5,
kid ourselves.
they've got
Right.
plenty of experience with cell shading.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
just think that it's also just going to look particularly good on
Yeah,
on a
let's not kid ourselves. PS5
yeah,
is gonna look miles better.
sure. So, moving forward, we have another
Mhm.
game that appeared this time at the Nintendo Direct, and that is Sea of Stars.
Oh, I'm excited about this one. It's just that I already knew about this game before the direct.
Oh, I knew
I'm
about it
excited
as
about
well.
this.
I've been watching
Yes.
it ever since. Well, we'll talk
Oh,
about
do
it game a
you,
little bit more.
Derek? Do you know about the game? Did you make a video about this? Maybe.
Oh, I knew about it before I made the video. So we finally got a release date of this highly anticipated indie RPG from Sabotage Studios, which is called Sea of Stars. And
Yes.
if you aren't already familiar with Sea of Stars, well, what
Mhm.
are you doing? Get out from
Yeah.
under
What
that
are you
rock,
doing?
because Sea of Stars is easily one of my top 3 most anticipated games at this moment. So
Mm.
let's take a look at the game right now.
That is saying a lot. We have a very packed year.
I know. And it's not just like my most anticipated like indie
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
my
You're
most
not.
anticipated.
Yeah. There's no qualifier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Oh, it
game
looks hecka
is
good.
oh my gosh. Yeah, special guest composer Yasunori Mitsuda. That was big news. I think that's when we talked about it the first time, was
Yeah.
getting some quotes from Mitsuda talking about how he felt like the team had that real passion for
Ooh,
that
look at
style
that.
of RPG. I know.
Look
It
at
is
that.
so fluid.
You know, it reminds me of Trials of Mana, the old game where like the way to distance travel is to get into a cannon and just like shoot you out
Yes. Yep.
and you just like land somewhere. Like
Uh-huh.
completely impractical, but it's just like, yeah, who cares? It's just like cool future, like magical world. Like just let it happen. It's fun.
Yeah.
Just when a giant just like chucks you across the world, just let it happen. It's fun. All right, just don't
Uh-huh.
question it.
Yeah. Inertia does not
Yeah,
matter.
that does not matter.
Yep.
How does it work? Magic.
Yes. Exactly. Sea of
Oh,
Stars
man.
is magic.
Yes, it
And
looks
now-
so good.
And now we have not only a release date of August 29th, just
Mhm.
after my birthday, but we also have a demo that you can now
Mhm.
play. So the game's coming out on PS4, PS5, Nintendo Switch, and PC, but the demo is available right now.
Yes.
And if you are curious, I had some time to spend on the demo. If you're playing at a normal pace, which you should slow down for this one, but if you're playing at a normal pace, it's probably able to be done in an hour or so. It's a short demo, but it is
Mhm.
really a solid way to get an idea of whether this game is for you or not. And I would say that if you are a fan of games, now let me say this hyper responsibly. If you're a fan of games like Chrono Trigger,
Like,
in the sense of like the battle system where you bump into enemies and then you just spread out and you fight right on that same map,
mhm,
and you have area of effect attacks that can take place in the shape of like a line or a circle or
mhm.
stuff like that.
Some
Dual and triple
AoE.
techs. Yeah. So if you're
Mhm.
into the battle system of Chrono Trigger, those aesthetics, those visuals, and also the timed attacks and defenses of games like Mario RPG on Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just keeps getting better. It's gonna be a long wait, but definitely check out the game and see if it's for you. But try to keep your expectations in check because this is still an indie developer. They've only, I think, before this they've made The Messenger, which is like a
Mhm,
side scroller with a good story. I've heard. Check it out.
mhm.
But yeah, I have also put my first impressions of this video out for your enjoyment. If you are curious, if you just want to see me geek out about the game for 10 minutes, that's what it's there for. Definitely check out the game demo. It was great. I had a lot of
Heck
fun,
yeah.
and I would play it again, but I'm trying not to spoil myself too badly.
Man, I cannot wait. Like
No.
if Chain Echoes was like the indie darling last year, I think this is gonna be like the indie darling RPG this year.
Oh yeah.
Like
So
ahead, like easy.
for additional
Um,
context, the other two games that are on my most anticipated list right now, besides this, are
mhm.
Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes
Hmm.
and Alterium Shift.
Do we count that as indies?
They are all indies as far as I'm concerned, but they're
Ooh.
still my most anticipated games as of right now.
They got hard competition for indie darling now, but
know.
for RPGs anyways, like
Mhm.
other games are other games. So like for
Yeah.
RPG, like this JRPG style indies, that's a tough
They are
tough
hitting
competition,
hard.
man.
They are hitting
But I think they're
hard.
fighting. Yeah,
Mhm.
no, this is highly comparable. Like as far as like the quality of game, just wow.
I know.
We're eating good this year. I thought we were eating good last year. No, we're eating pretty good this year, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're spoiled.
Okay.
Okay, so
Anyways,
let's keep
so
this
let's
moving.
let's speaking of keeping things moving, the next game
Uh,
is called We Love Katamari. Reroll plus Royal Reverie. Yeah, I tell you more about the game, but it's easier if we just watch the trailer.
all right. So yeah,
It's
this
just
is hang on. We love Oh, there it is. There it is. It was slightly out of order on my list.
speaking of rolling things. Oh my god.
This is definitely more on the side of niche news, by the way, as opposed to
Oh, yeah.
JRPG news. For anybody
This is
interested.
the quirky.
I mean, if you don't already
Everyone
know,
likes this game. Everyone who's played this game like this game. Like you, this is one of those games where you didn't think you'd like the game until you tried it. I didn't think I'd like the game until I tried it either. It is weird. It is really challenging, actually. Like it's not as simple as it looks.
personally, I think the game's all right.
You just roll things bigger and bigger. That's basically what you do in this game.
Mm-hmm. It's a weird game.
Roll by yourself. Roll with a friend. Roll versus foe. It's cute.
You'll face the king's stern glare. Life is full of peaks and valleys. Roll those Katamari.
Oh my
Even
gosh.
the king of all cosmos had a tough
It's
path.
crazy to think that this
Filled with
series
the
started
spirit
on the
and fierce
PlayStation
speed
2.
of his own
Was it the
foe.
PlayStation?
Royal
Yeah.
Reverie.
I have a copy of We Love Katamari and Katamari Damacy on PS2.
Can the young king rise to the tough challenges?
Unless it came out earlier than that on like PlayStation 1. But I can't imagine that.
And there's so much more.
Bring your camera while you roll and say cheese. Selfie.
What?
To your own personal set list. Favorite BGM.
They have really good
Stuff
songs.
that will keep you rolling on and on.
That is absolutely true. This has widespread appeal. This game,
Because it's
as
a really
niche-
easy to understand game.
I guess
and
I called
it's
it-
just fun.
I guess I called this game niche, but as far as niche goes, this is like the most widespread adored game that is niche out there. Like, it is so
Yeah.
close to, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just one of those weird games. It's like, it's almost surprising that it's not a Nintendo game. You know?
Well, it is on the Nintendo now.
Oh, it is now. That's true.
Yeah, but also on PS4, 5, Xbox Series X. So yeah, that's coming out in June 2nd of this year.
All right. I guess we'll just have to keep our eyes peeled for that.
Man, I want to play multiplayer with somebody. I think multiplayer is going to be a lot of fun. I hope I can like roll into like your friends and like, you know, like mess them up or something.
Oh,
like
that would be interesting.
there's got to be a way to like
Just
interfere with your
absorb
friends.
them into your ball.
Something, anything. It's going to be great. All right.
So next up, we have some other stuff that is now back from the dead, and that is Etrian Odyssey.
Yes.
Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection was announced by Atlas during the Nintendo Direct this time around.
That's right.
They're going to be releasing the HD remastered version of not just one, not just two, but also three Etrian Odyssey games into a single bundle called Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection.
Yes.
These games will feature new character illustrations, difficulty levels, as well as a brand new auto mapping function, which means I might
Yes.
actually play it and enjoy it.
Because the auto mapping, you just didn't want to
Auto
manual.
mapping is so important to me in a time when I do not have the time or the to give to map it myself. If I was much younger and if I had much more time, then I would probably be okay with spending that time.
Yeah.
But at this point, I ain't got time for that. So auto mapping, super important to me. We have a trailer for this if you'd like.
Let's take a look.
All right. And I know a lot of people are going to be
Mhm.
or already are incredibly excited about this because
Yeah, you know. No,
because
go ahead.
this is one of those game series that was trapped on the DS and the 3DS,
Mhm.
and there was a lot of questions about with the sunset of the 3DS. We talked about it when it was shut down.
Yeah.
A lot of people were really concerned about what that meant for the future of this series specifically because it is so dependent upon that.
Well, they
user
got it
input.
working. I mean,
Yeah.
you,
I mean-
you see that view? You see how like
Mhm.
you see how there's things like to the side that just like zooms by.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of what I mean by like I feel trapped. You know,
Oh yeah.
like
I
my
think it
field
might
of vision.
It might be because it's such a wide field of view on it
Yeah.
that causes that.
Yeah,
Maybe. I don't know.
but yeah, that's the reason why I can't play these games.
It just kind of
Not
gives
bad. Yeah,
you tunnel
It just,
vision, sucks you
yeah.
in a little too
doesn't
much.
feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but it
all
looks
right.
really good. It looks really good.
For a remaster, and this is
Yeah.
truly looking like a remaster, maybe
Yeah.
a remake. Would we call this a remake? I don't know. Probably.
Remixter.
I haven't seen enough of the original to say for certain, but it looks
Mhm.
like they've done more than just your run-of-the-mill port. I'll say
They
that
didn't just
much.
upscale it.
Yeah.
They've redone some arts.
Now,
That's
as-
for sure.
oh yeah, that was in no uncertain terms that they definitely did work on the art and everything.
Mhm.
But I just don't know if like it's the same engine. Did they redo the engine to make it work on Switch? Because with the new, like, I don't know. But
Well, I
what
mean,
we
they
know
had to
is
do
that
a
it
lot
is-
of rebuilding,
they,
right?
they're calling it an HD remaster. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll just go with that. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's coming out on the 1st of June,
Mhm.
coming to Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam.
Yes.
And if you don't want all three games, why wouldn't you? But if you want one but not the others, they are able to be purchased separately as well, digitally, I think. But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure.
I don't know if it's. I think they're all digital. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they're all digital.
I'm kind of hoping for a.
only.
I'm hoping for a physical release. Of course,
Yeah.
of course, I
Well-
would. I'm looking out for you guys. Let's hope we get a. Let's hope we get a physical. I think that would make all the difference.
Actually,
here.
no. It is. They definitely have. They have hard copies. I don't know if it's hard
Oh.
copies. Yeah, I see hard copies in Play Asia, but
Oh, good.
that's
So
that might be Japan only though.
worst case
so
scenario.
make sure.
Oh yeah, see if they have
That's
the
something
Asia
I should have
region.
looked. Let's see. Choose a platform. Yeah, it's digital only as far as I can see for like international release.
Mm,
You might be able to get like a Southeast Asia release with English. That's
Yeah.
in like physical release though.
That's what I'm hoping for. Play Asia might have our back. But
Yeah, I'm looking at the official website at Atlas right now. They're only listing digital for Steam and what have you. Yeah, I'll look for you guys real quick. Yeah, no, I don't see it. I only see
Bummer.
the Japanese version. But
Well-
maybe you can change the maybe you could go in and change the language setting into English and you'll be fine.
yeah,
I don't know.
guess
Yeah.
we'll find out eventually if there's a physical way to get it, and we'll keep you up to date.
Sounds good. All right. Next up, we've talked about this game for a couple of times. So after repeated delays, we finally got the new release date for the Wait for Tactical RPG Advanced Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. And
Yay.
fingers crossed that they won't delay again. Yay! Finally. I mean, they did say that the game was ready. They just
Mhm.
didn't want to release it because certain countries just got into a all-out war,
Yeah, I
and
think
they were just like,
yeah, I think that they delayed it at least, and it's not necessarily to say that like, oh, we have achieved world peace now, because things are still going on for
Yeah.
sure. But at least now feelings aren't so immediate and raw about it at the moment that they probably could get away without,
I respect that they respect world events, so yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
mad at them. Yeah,
No.
but we knew it was coming because they said the game was done. They're just waiting to release it. So here we are. Here's the release date, right? And a new trailer to come with it.
Oh. All right. Do you want to take a look at that trailer then?
Yes, sir. Let's take a look.
All right.
Get your tactical skills ready.
Yeah, I couldn't find like a new version of a trailer, but the Nintendo one.
Game's only a couple of months away. Join Andy, Max, Sammy, and more in 2 full story campaigns, each one filled with colorful turn-based tactical action.
I can't believe WayForward made this.
Muscles across a
I know.
Design your own maps
They-
and share them with
They're
friends.
doing. I mean, that animation looks
Local
solid.
online play.
Looks like they're doing a good service to the game.
Reboot Camp
That's
The
cute.
game's-
Switch April 21st. Pre-order
At least as far as the animation goes.
Nintendo eShop.
All right. So that is again coming on April 21st on the Switch only. So yes, if you're a tactical a tactical RPG fan, yeah, you're probably not going to want to miss this one.
All right. Well, thank you very much there, Sherlock, because we've got a Master Detective Archives game, Rain Code, here to talk about, because Spike Chunsoft just gave us the release date and a new trailer for the game. It's a new mystery IP called Master Detective Archives. You want to take a look at this trailer as well?
Yes, let's do it.
All right.
Put your master detective skills to the test.
So we've seen and talked about this one before,
Oh yeah,
but I think this is the first time I remember
we got
seeing
an
the
actual release
gameplay.
date. No, we saw some gameplay.
It seems more interesting this time, though.
Yeah,
Maybe they're just getting better at making trailers.
Nintendo has something to do with it.
Oh, could be.
I do like Nintendo Direct more than I like PlayStation Experience or Sony PlayStation Experience.
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation. Yeah,
Yeah. State of play.
State of Play. Thank you. Yeah, I like seeing actual gameplay and like an actual release day.
And the production that like ties it all together is nice and feels
Yeah.
cohesive. Like the Nintendo Direct is I think the most viewed by a long shot for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, State of Play just feels like, here, give me the hypest action trailer you have for your game, and we'll just slap it all together. You know,
Yeah.
no explanation, no context, just here it is.
Master Detective Archives Rain Code launches on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, so man, so obviously this game is going to be geared towards people who are into the Danganronpa series.
Mhm.
But from what I understand, there are also like kind of RPG elements into this game.
Yeah, it looked like there were some.
So
It looked like it had some RPG elements,
yeah,
but
but I don't know to what extent, or
Yeah.
is it truly an RPG, or just like appears that way? We'll see.
well, I guess we
Um,
won't know until we find out if it has a fishing mini game.
That's true. That's a true mark of a JRPG.
So it's coming out on the 30th of June. So keep your eyes out for that, and it's only on the
Yes.
Switch.
Sorry, Mr. Invalid.
Yep, only on the Switch.
Only on the Switch. I mentioned it's only on the Switch.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So speaking of games that's only on the Switch, Bandai Namco just announced that they'll be re-releasing the remastered version of this GameCube classic called Baten Kaitos 1 and Baten Kaitos 2.
What?
In a
Oh my
same, yeah.
god! Oh my god! That's incredible.
Yes.
That's wild news.
Yes.
You want to take a look at this trailer for it?
Yes.
All right, let's pull it up. That's it. That's
You
awesome.
scared me. I didn't see you. I just heard like what? I thought you were playing a sound clip.
No, that was me.
I was like, why do you have the sound clip?
Oh, you picked the Japanese trailer.
I picked the full trailer instead of the Nintendo one. And it
Okay.
happens to be in Japanese.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as possible, I want to stay away from the Nintendo one
Sure,
because I
'cause
feel
they're-
like
they're
the
cut
company
down.
does it better,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And also when they say like what system is it on, they, they'll tell you all the system that is on instead of just Nintendo.
Yeah.
But like I said, this game in particular happens to just be on Nintendo.
So
But this is a better trailer.
for anybody who doesn't have the context here, Baten Kaitos is a series of games that was written, I think, by Masato Kato and some of the people behind Monolith Soft. So, like, this had, like, if you were into Chrono Cross, for instance, like, some of the same people are involved in this one. But, but, speaking of game series that I tried and just couldn't get into, this was one of them that had
Oh, yeah?
the card-based mechanics, card-based combat.
Ah.
This was my first experience trying a game like that a long time ago. A long time ago.
So you might give this one a shot when it comes out.
Yeah, I might enjoy it now. I don't know, but
Yeah.
but that's one of those things that, yeah. When the GameCube in particular was like really starved for RPGs, these games, at least the first one, ended up in my possession, and I was like, oh, I can't wait. I might have bought the GameCube because I heard that Masato Kato was involved, and some of the people behind Chrono Cross, and some of the people, like some big important people were like, "All right," and the guy's got blue hair. This is a sequel to Chrono Cross.
Oh no.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Well, yeah.
No.
I'm so sorry, young Derek. I wish I knew you then so I could tell you that that's not the case.
If only I had a certain sort of podcast that I could have listened to that would help me keep my expectations in check by reminding me to hype responsibly. If only.
Well informed, ethical game journalist.
If only. Because,
If
I mean,
only.
legitimately, during that time period of my life, there was no game journalist who did us justice on the RPG side of things.
Yeah, big yikes.
was-
But
they were all
they
the
regret
same.
it now because it's RPGs is huge and it's pretty mainstream. So for anyone who's still like, like, oh, it's the RPGs is lame. It's like, yeah, well, you're lame. Anyways, this beautiful remaster actually looks really good.
It does look they did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, from a GameCube game, yeah, that looks pretty good. This one is coming out in summer of 2023, only on the Switch. But yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So next up, speaking of level 5 not being dead, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam was announced with a little bit of a teaser, and we could show you that teaser as well,
Yeah.
because it's not a very, at least what I saw, there wasn't very much to it, but it looks nice so far. That animation looks good. You know, level 5 looks like they've, you know, they still know how to make it, but that's all we know. Like, does that indicate that this is going to be like a polygonal RPG?
If you tell me that that's like a Professor Layton like movie, I would have believed you.
I know it looks
Like if that's a teaser for like a full length Professor Layton movie, I would have
yeah.
believed you.
It's
That
totally-
looks
totally
so good.
CGI Professor Layton movie. Yep,
Yeah.
I can see it.
So yeah, fans should be overjoyed. I know there's a lot of Professor Layton. I've never played a Professor Layton game, but there are a lot of fans out there.
So that
yeah.
teaser is all the information we have. There's no release date, no other information. It is currently listed as on being on the Switch on the official site, but that's it. So
That could change. Yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just be a limited announcement window or something. But I mean,
That's right.
the Professor Layton games have always been on Nintendo consoles up to this point, so why would they change?
Yeah. Anything could happen. All right. The last game that we're going to be talking about really needs no introduction. The newest Zelda title. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, yeah, I already knew this was coming.
Yep.
That the Nintendo Direct ended their show with is called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And I emphasize on the word because when it first came out, when they first came to the title, we weren't sure if it's Tears or Tears.
Yeah.
Because they didn't say it, right?
Yep.
They didn't say the name, they showed it. But they said it now in the trailer. So now we know it's Tears. So
Yep.
yeah, let's take a look at that like super high budget trailer that will go
has
into
voice
the
acting.
Switch. Yeah. And be completely wasted because it's on the Switch. I'm sorry. After the Pokemon fiasco, like I no longer believe that the Switch can handle anything even remotely modern. Sorry. Like I love the Switch. I love what it can do.
I mean,
but
hey, it was to be fair, the Switch was not ever cutting edge, even on release.
I'm not
The
mad
fact-
at it.
The fact that it's doing this well, this later on, is actually pretty
It is still
incredible.
the best-selling console. So, like, there's no hate. Like, I like my Switch. I just don't want to keep lying to myself that this is somehow like a modern console. It's not. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a modern console, just get a PC and emulate it, I guess.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
But yeah. One of the interesting things that I heard, though, listen,
But Link,
is
I'm not sure you'll be able to.
some of the sounds play in reverse towards
Oh,
the end of
yeah?
this trailer, which sounds and harkens back to somebody mentioned this in the Discord, that it harkens back to like some similarities to Twilight Princess.
Oh, interesting.
And I noticed that blocky dude kind of had some symbols all over his blocks. I don't know if it's... See, listen.
We will find out. I mean, yeah. So, according to people, this is going to be like a darker Zelda game.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
So that has me kind of curious.
Yeah. That last scene just now just had like Princess Mononoke vibe to me.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if you recognize what that is. Have you ever seen Princess Mononoke?
Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
a,
like
I'm
the
a huge,
rot-
I'm a huge Studio Ghibli fan.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
just kidding. I'm not actually, but I do know and enjoyed Princess Mononoke quite a bit.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the first movie I got my parents to watch, the first anime movie. Because,
Really?
Because my dad's favorite actor, Billy Bob Thornton, was one of the voice actors.
Did they like it at all?
I don't know.
They think it was weird?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, I still think it's one of
It
the
was
best, like-
weird. That weird
It was
deer thing.
weird. Yeah.
I mean-
but like in a good way.
The weird deer thing with the
the
in
deer head.
Mhm. Like there's some crazy stuff going on that. That was an acid trip of
It's a lot of metaphors. Yeah. But and also an acid trip.
yeah.
All right. So this game is coming out in May 12th. We finally have a release date. It's May 12th. Of course, only on the Switch. Like, what did you expect? Would it be crazy if I said this is also on PS5? It's not. It's not. Don't quote us. It's only on the Switch. Now, the regular collector's edition are available for pre-order, except that the collector's edition was sold out in minutes in all retailers. And
Not
no
surprised.
words whether or not Nintendo plans to restock the retailers. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I've got a friend who's just the biggest Zelda fan, and she's like devastated that she couldn't get a copy. So I feel really bad. Someone actually, and if you're watching right now, thank you, but someone actually messaged me on Twitter because they saw my message on Twitter and they were like, oh, Walmart's doing the sale now. Go, 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 go.
Yeah.
It also sold out in minutes, but I was also in a work meeting, so I didn't even see the message until it was sold out again. So thank you so much, Josh. I think that's the name. I'm just basing on my recollection. Thank you so much for reaching out and letting me know about it, but unfortunately, that was just not meant to be.
Hey,
but I
you
am
know,
keeping an
will
eye
say,
out. Yeah.
On the bright side, it didn't happen at like 3 a.m.
Oh, that Pixel remaster. Oh boy,
Yes.
I don't know what was worse, the Pixel remaster selling or this. You know, here's the thing though. Like, just before we continue, the Pixel remaster, at least the next day I could still get it, but it was for like only the Switch version. The PlayStation version was sold out.
Yeah.
Like by the time I found out about it, I could still get it. I added it into my cart.
Yeah. East
I didn't
Coast
do it
was able to
because-
get it.
Yeah.
Midwest was not. Not at
No,
a
no.
reasonable
It
time.
was the next day, like
I-
midday.
Well, maybe they
Yeah.
restocked it for a minute because I
Yeah.
did not have an option. Never had a
Really?
chance. Yeah. It
Oh
showed-
man, if you told me, I would have just picked it up for you.
It's
Yeah, I had it in my cart for like a good hour or two, and I'm like, I don't want it.
bummer.
Not on the Switch, anyways. Yeah, but this is literally sold out in minutes.
Yeah,
period.
I'm not surprised.
Everywhere.
You know what would be
Um,
hilarious? What
what?
Nintendo should do at some point with when they do one of their collector's editions, they should just make like 1 million copies and make them all collector's editions, and let the scalpers
everybody
let the
is a collector.
let the scalpers freaking try, and
Yeah.
and buy them all. That's what
Yeah.
wouldn't that be the ultimate con? Like-
Release it in phases. Like he's phase 1, all the scalper dies. Oh, here's the phase 2. Here's the phase 3. Here's the phase 4. You got more money? We'll
Mhm.
give you more phases, man. Let's go. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna release it until you run out of money.
Yes, let's.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be incredible.
That-
Could
that-
you
that's-
imagine?
that's only if Nintendo actually cares about their fans. Because from what
I
I've
know.
seen, yikes.
I hope the
Anyways,
scalpers. I hope they choke on their collector's editions.
yeah, I hope they choke on the flute.
Yep.
Or
So-
whatever. Wait, what is the ocarina? I hope we choke on the ocarina, man.
So we did have sort of another kind of cool announcement that happened at the Direct. It's not specifically about one game, but rather a series of games that's now coming to the subscription service
Yes.
for Switch Online.
That's
so
right.
a whole bunch of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are now going to be available to play through the service, which is
Yes.
pretty cool because some of those games were RPGs, and there's a
Mm.
lot of RPGs on this system.
Man, this Game Boy thing just takes me back. This is the ultimate nostalgia trip for me.
I know.
The Game Boy bling, that, oh my god.
Oh my god.
Nintendo Switch, you can play these
Uh,
anywhere, just like you could back in the day.
When
Yep.
I heard the Steam is this PTSD. I was like, oh god, Tetris.
I'm
I
very
played
curious
so
to
much
see-
Tetris growing up.
I know. I'm curious to see if this game, when you play them on this way, if you have an option to choose the palette, you know, if it's
Oh yeah. No, I think they said you could.
okay, good.
You could pick between regular Nintendo and Nintendo Color and something else. Like they talked about it in here.
Cool.
Gargoyle's Quest. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is the least interesting.
Oh my Game Boy Watch. Oh no.
Yeah. You know, you ever wanted here's what I wanted to play.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to play a original on my Nintendo Switch on modernish hardware. I wanted to play a Game Boy that was emulating even worse hardware. Why would anybody want that? I mean, oh well.
You know, people would stream it too. And like people watch certain games that I'm not sure why they're watching, but
I
hey, look,
don't get it.
1,000 kind of games, 1,000 kinds of folks. It's fine.
Game and Watch, like they're
There you go. Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're-
different color
they're
palettes. Yeah.
barely better than Tiger Electronics.
I played so many of those growing up too. Those like I don't know what you want to call them. Like
Last Resort.
what kind of technology would you call that? Like
Ancient. A mistake. They're all landfill fuel.
which is a shame because I bet you those things sells for a ton. Like what did you call it? Like if it's in pristine condition.
Probably. Maybe. For some people. I don't know.
This game is
This is
nightmare fuel. This game is so freaking hard.
Oh.
You can't touch the wall. As soon as you touch the wall, you lose.
So here's something
The
that was
bar
pretty
keeps
interesting
spinning.
about this portion where they're showing Game Boy Advance. So there's Super Mario RPG,
Mhm.
and also later on they show like covers of games that are upcoming. Oh, one of my favorite Zeldas right here.
Ooh, Minish Cap. That was
is-
fun.
One of them was Golden Sun is apparently going to be making its way onto Switch that way.
Oh.
Well, I mean, they showed covers of Golden Sun,
yes, they did.
and I know a lot of people are going to be very excited about that. Speaking of which,
Speaking
Speaking of Golden
there it is,
Sun.
there it is, there it is.
my review of Golden Sun: The Lost Age is finally done, and it's available for all supporters of the show, channel members here, as well as Patreon and everybody who subscribes on Twitch. They all have early access to it.
right.
It's pretty exciting.
Yay.
Finally have that one done. And I have 2 others already filmed. By the way, I'm sorry, gonna take a quick diversion here.
Is that the Midnight Oil you're talking about?
No. Midnight Oil
No.
is gonna be talking about another game that we haven't touched yet. I don't know. Did we? We didn't
I
talk.
don't know. I don't know what game you're talking about.
Hang on. Did we touch on this yet? Is it upcoming? No. We
Well,
didn't.
if you type it, I'll tell you.
Okay, here.
If you want to keep it in the DL.
Here, let me put this let's see.
Okay.
I'll type it up
So secretive.
there. You see?
Oh, we've definitely talked about it.
I mean, we didn't talk about it today.
Oh, not recently, no.
Okay, well, we're going to talk
Yeah.
about it anyway because I feel like it bears mentioning.
Mhm.
Octopath Traveler 2, everybody, got
Yes.
a demo released.
Yes.
The game officially comes out here in a couple weeks on the 24th, right?
Yes.
I believe it's the 24th
Mhm.
of this month, so it's just a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yes.
And the trailer is currently out, the prologue demo, which allows you to play the first like 3 hours of anyone's path at this point. I
Mhm.
do believe that it carries over to the
It does.
full release.
It
So
does.
pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are very excited about Octopath Traveler 2, so make sure you check it out.
I think the only reason why I
So
was reminded was because Square Enix actually emailed me and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna charge you for your pre-order now." I'm like, "Oh, is it that time now? Is it finally coming?"
Yeah.
So, yeah.
pretty exciting stuff. So the Midnight Oil I'm gonna burn right now is my first impressions on the demo here.
Ooh.
And I'm looking forward to that. Let's just say first impressions are positive.
I'm looking forward to watching that video.
Cool.
I'm glad that it's good because I actually bought the limited edition for that because I'm always kicking myself for not buying the limited edition for the first game, which I really liked. Whew, okay, more pain, because boy, that first game was hard.
Oh yeah, it was
It was
tough.
the
but
hardest boss in a long time.
but yeah, if you
Yeah.
enjoyed the first Octopath, if you did, then let's just say this is more or less more of the same. And
More
it
of the
is-
good goods.
It's back.
It's back.
Yeah.
All right. I, you know what? I'll just spend just another minute on it, but I really do like that they're coming from like different parts of the world. It seems
Oh, I
like
know.
different culture, and like the
Oh,
first
yeah.
game was like they're different parts of like
It's very
you know, like,
Eurocentric, right?
yeah, but the next game is like, whoa, they're like really coming together from different parts. I
Mhm.
really need them to. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm gonna wait for your video.
Okay. So
As should all of you.
so anyways, I have 2 other videos of the game collection already filmed and ready to edit, and I'm thinking about refilming one of them because I ended up spending some money today on a bit of cosplay. It's going to be very fun.
What?
Yeah.
So that's what you've been doing.
Well, you'll just have to see what happens here eventually. But anyways, that's
Alright.
all I'm going to tell you for now. Except more episodes of the game collection are nearby and coming quickly.
Heck yeah, we're waiting for it. Yeah, by the way, some random guy, yeah, that music for the final boss, excellent. I listen to it in the car all the time. Great music. Like I
All of
said,
it.
Square Enix music, man, they don't disappoint. I've never really been mad at their music. All right, so moving on. You guys didn't think that we'd end this coverage without talking about Japan's Direct, right? Because
We've
come
talked
on.
about one Nintendo Direct, but what about second Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, what about Nintendo Direct number 2? It wouldn't be HitPoint if I didn't scrub through the Japan's Nintendo Direct to see if there's any news.
it
And
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
you know
HitPoint
it?
without number
Yeah.
2.
it would- I don't know how to follow up with it. So yeah, Square Enix. Enix announced during the Japanese Nintendo Direct that they will be releasing a new horror adventure game called Paranormasight, The 7 Mysteries of Honjo. So in this game, you need to help your character survive the curses that has been placed on them by exploring the Sumida Ward in Tokyo and by investigating the 7 mysteries of Honjo. Let's take a look at that trailer and see what that's about.
All right.
Derek cannot wait. This is his favorite genre of games. You guys think that he likes RPGs? No, Derek likes horror games. Oh yeah, Super Derek Horror. That's
Super Dark horror
exactly
games. Oh yeah, that's kind of like a. That's
everything you ever liked.
I didn't realize you could play with a Luigi board with a penny like that. That's pretty cool. That guy, his head's not on straight.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a supernatural mystery game. So that's actually coming out right around the corner. Not that far from now, in March 9th of this year on the Switch, of course, but also on PC. The pre-order is now available.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you know that Square Enix make games that aren't RPGs?
I mean, yeah, I did, but I didn't know that they made horror games actually.
I think they made like a live action detective game like that actually was like not bad, but just like not a lot of people picked up on it because it's just so like out the left field.
Like the Quiet Man or whatever. Was it?
No. The Quiet Man was an absolute flop. That game was just let's never talk about that. No, that game is so niche that like I don't think I'm pretty sure we covered it. But yeah, no, it was just like an extremely niche game that like I don't think people really even played it. But for all the people who did play it, they were like, yeah, that's actually not bad. If you can get over the acting, like the game itself is actually pretty good.
Cool.
I don't know. I've never played it. Yeah.
Centennial Mystery.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah.
I've been told that one's actually pretty good. Like the writing, that's actually pretty good.
Thank you. Sick
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I've never played it, so don't take my words for it. That's just what I've heard.
All right. So I
Yes.
suppose it's time that we move along here to another little bit of announcement here. Koei
So-
Tecmo.
That's just a small game.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just
Mhm.
a small game, really inconsequential.
Mhm.
Koei Tecmo have announced that they will be making the very first Atelier game called Atelier Marie Remake The Alchemist of Salzburg.
Yeah. No big deal.
Yeah.
Just Atelier. What,
Yeah.
who-
Yeah, Atelier,
What
you know,
even is that?
a little hidden gem series that nobody really knows much about.
Yeah.
But
No
we're
one
here to tell
plays
you.
this.
We're here to tell you that that they are remaking it. Slightly different visual aesthetic.
Yeah. I like that they kept like kind of like the old style
Like kind of
2D art,
Oh,
but then they like
oh.
animated it.
Yeah, they didn't redraw it with like the
Yeah.
new visual style.
Yeah. I think they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Like it still
But it-
has this like watercolored look to it, I think.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah. So
So,
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have that to look forward to here in summer of 2023. It's coming out on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Yes.
We were pretty close to not covering this title because it didn't appear to have any announcement about it being available internationally, but
Yeah.
Koei Tecmo of America did open up an English site for the game, so that seems to indicate positively for an international release. Link to that
That's
site
right.
will be in the video description down below.
Heck yeah. I was looking for trailers and I was like, I don't see any English trailers. Like, and I'm like, maybe we won't talk about this after all. And we
Mhm.
found this website,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, well, you've got an English website, so here we go. The localization is happening. Yes.
Pretty
Thank you so
rad.
much for that. Oh my god, I'm excited for the
Was-
Atelier fans.
Was this one ever was it already available in the West previously, or
The remake?
no, the original?
I don't
Atelier Marie? I wonder.
know.
I'm gonna look it up real quick, just to-
Yeah. I don't know.
because I wasn't sure. I don't know much about it. No. Apparently, it was available only on Sega Saturn in Japan.
Really?
And then Sega Dreamcast. But yeah, we did not apparently ever get this officially in the
Huh.
West until now.
Wow, that's
That's-
pretty cool.
At least that's what VGPC is telling me about Atelier Marie. Unless it had a different name in the West, I don't know.
Unless they lie to you.
Okay. Someone
Did you
says
say
it had a fan
VGC?
translation. Yeah, VGPC,
Oh yeah, no, they're
Video
pretty good.
Games Price Charting. Yeah.
They're pretty good. Yeah. So okay, so I have to preface this too. Also, that the summer 2023, that's speaking to the Japanese release.
Yeah.
There's nothing that says the international release is going to be that date, that time frame. It could be a little later because it's not unusual. But yeah, we'll keep you guys posted. And again, not just on the Switch, even though it's on the Nintendo Direct, this is also available on PS4 and 5 and PC. As per usual with LTLA games, there's multi-platform. So yeah, pretty exciting stuff. I'm glad that they're coming out with like the PC version now instead of like later. They like announcing PC versions later a lot of times, but I think they're finally got that steps locked down to lockstep on the release with console and PC versions. So pretty cool stuff.
Quick update on Atelier Marie.
Yeah. Mhm.
Looks like, according to Wikipedia,
Mhm.
it was also released on the PlayStation in 97 and in
Huh.
1998 as the Plus version, and Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 2 and iOS and Android, but all exclusively in Japan.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty wild.
Okay, so more news for you. I just looked at the website because I was bored. Okay, so it is coming to summer 2023, even in the English website. So okay,
Cool.
just scratch what I just said. Here we go. It says summer 2023 in the English site, but they can also delay it. Fingers crossed. More news to come for on 220. So whenever that happens, we'll get more information.
Awesome. All right.
All
Well,
right.
it is time for us to move this along to community news, which for the purpose of this, I don't have a card for that, so I'll just say it's industry-ish news.
Industry-ish.
Yeah.
Yes, industry-ish. So yeah, so this is community insofar as we've got two fan games that I want to talk about. And so this is community insofar that it's fan-made games.
Yeah.
The first game is actually a game that I've like pedaled along, so I'm gonna do it again because I just really like the game. It is called Holocure. It is the version 0.5 update of the Hololive fan game. It's called Holocure. It is now, and it's got 9 new playable characters from Hololive Gen 1 and Gen 2. The new version also added new weapons, weapon enhancements, the stamp system, and something called the fandom system. And the developers hinted that in the next update, they'll be bringing Hololive Indonesia into the game. So, and there's a trailer for it. I'm gonna force Derek to watch a Hololive trailer.
Okay. Cool. All right. Let's pull up the trailer then.
Tell me if you'd rather watch this than a horror trailer.
Well,
So yeah. So for anyone who does not know, I mean, you don't necessarily need to know what Hololive is. If you are a fan of, say, like Vampire Survivor, it's just a Vampire Survivor game.
okay. Yeah, I was gonna say this looks like that old man being surrounded by ghosts that I've seen on Twitch a time or two.
It doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Ghosts and vampires and stuff. Yeah.
It's pretty cool because Vampire Survivor is the game that kind of made this genre like really popular. It's like a whole new you know how, like Rogue now has like rogue-like.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like Vampire Survivor, like so S game. Like there's that game that makes this whole like genre very popular. So now we got this like Vampire Survivor sort of game. And this is what that is. So again, this is a fan game. This is non-for-profit. It's free, so you can just get it and play it. And this is So this is a Vampire Survivor sort of game where just a bunch of enemies would just come at you and you just have to destroy them. So yeah, definitely recommend it just as a time killer. And it's that I mentioned is free.
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I mean, free is cool.
Free is free.
I will say, as far as like a general appeal to me, since you asked if I would rather watch this or
Yes.
a horror game,
Mhm.
the horror game probably.
You would rather watch a horror game? Well, of course. This your favorite
This brand new
genre.
genre. This
your
brand
favorite
new genre
genre.
here does not look like my cup of tea at all.
No, I was just thinking in terms of the trailer, not like watching someone actually play the game.
Oh yeah, show me the
Yeah.
waifus. Yeah, from like Hololive or whatever. Yeah, I'll look at that stuff.
Oh boy.
But,
Well, here is another fan game since you like horror. Now, and of course, we all know that Derek's a horror fan, but if you guys are a Danganronpa fan, you're gonna want to know about this. This is called Project Eden Garden, and it's been brought to my attention, really. It is a non-profit Danganronpa fan game that uses the formula to tell a completely different story in a different world with different characters. And it's really well made. I'm like super impressed with what they put together. Let's take a look at that trailer.
All right, let's take a look.
Among a sea of mediocrity, I am a shining.
So you remember what
Whoa.
Danganronpa is like, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. A fan game?
This is
with
a fan
voice
game.
acting.
This is a fan game. If you didn't tell me that this is a fan game, you just showed me the trailer, I would have believed you that this is a new Danganronpa like spin-off or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. But listen, a Danganronpa fan game that has
Fan game.
voice acted,
With voice acted.
like, and it doesn't suck.
And it
Like the
doesn't
voice
suck.
acting doesn't suck. That's impressive.
Dude, look at this. This is a freaking fan game. Like the qualities of fan games is just like and when I say fan game, I mean this game is non-profit. They'll never make a single penny out of this.
Mhm.
No one is being paid. There's no salary involved.
Yeah.
Unless someone just like pulls it out of their own pocket and pay out people. I don't, But yeah, but someone's losing money, right? If they did that.
It's pretty impressive.
Dude, look at this.
Maybe she thought the killer
That's like better voice acting than some games that I pay for.
Yeah. Better voice acting than Pokemon. Which they also didn't pay for. So, just throwing that out there.
Did I mention that this is a free fan game? Yeah. So yeah, I think developers around the world should pay attention to fan games. Not to shut them down, but I mean like the kind of quality that people are able to do now on their own without having like a giant budget studio like behind them. That's crazy. But anyways, yes, so we'll be leaving a link in the description so that if you're interested, you're a fan of Danganronpa, you want to see what fellow fans are able to create in your community, and this is why it's in the community news. Yeah, take a look at the link in the description once we're off and I have time to actually fix the video description. It'll be there.
All right. So it's time that we move this show along to its next section, which is just kind of covering a few of the merch items that I think some of us are going to be kind of interested in here. So
yeah. So I don't know how interested you guys will be about this, but I will be remiss if I didn't talk about this. So Mr. Derek, if you can just kindly move over to my screen, we can talk about this one real quick.
All right.
Yeah. So this, I think you guys are, if you're not new to the show, I've talked about super groupies from time to time. They're the guys who did the collaboration with Kingdom Hearts. So they work with game companies to bring like apparels, right? Like sort of character, what is it called? Like certain motif from like characters, inspired. And then bring them to apparels. Yeah, inspired. Yeah. So this time they are doing trails, and this is actually, I think, their first collab with Trails. So let's see, they've got
so the backpack is clearly inspired by Estelle's skirt there.
Yes.
If you hit the back button, you can see them side by side, but it's actually like look,
right here.
It's that.
It's this.
It's exactly that.
Take her skirt and make a bag out of it.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah. So I will say that Super Groupies is a little pricey. I mean, they're not cheap, but if you are a fashionista and you happen to be like a Trails fan, I mean, this could be your cup of tea. So take a look at it. I'll leave the link. I won't spend too much time on this. I'll leave a link in the description, and you can just go check it out yourself. They do ship internationally, I'm pretty certain. So yeah, hey, listen, if you've got like $200 to spend and you love Trails, but you don't want to buy a figure, well, this could be an alternative, right?
Yeah.
Or you could just buy an alternate figure, and that's fine too.
Sure.
All right. Yeah. So we've got Reen, we've got Estelle, we've got Altina, and those are the three characters that they were doing a collab with this time. I have an inkling that they're gonna do other characters in the future. Maybe like Len, maybe.
Dude, seriously, if they could just make like a jacket for like from Trails of Cold Steel 2 of Reen, like just copy it wholesale, that would be so good.
They have made jackets from other series like Kingdom. I'm pretty sure they have made like a full coat of like Kingdom Hearts.
I've been playing Cold Steel 2, and everybody's design just looks impeccable. Like, oh man,
well,
what I would do for a tailored jacket like that. But
I mean, if that's what you really want,
not pictured here. I don't particularly love those coats or anything, but
if that's what you really want, I know a person who knows a person who could probably do it for you.
Oh, well,
just saying.
And I'm just saying it could be tax deductible.
It could be. Yeah. Imagine
Okay.
cosplay, but with good material and actual like good like sewing instead of just like, I'll last the night and that's it.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
All right. So let's move on to the last bit of news that we have for you. And this is actually One Hobby 36. It is a huge, like, figure show where they show off some like new stuff that they're bringing to the table.
Mhm.
As per usual, I'm gonna go over some like more game related things and skip out on a lot of the anime stuff. Nothing's risque from here, so I can show this entire collection,
Okay,
and I
I
don't
was gonna
feel too
say,
bad
should I
about.
switch away? Because I remember
No,
in the
I've
before
looked through.
times. Okay.
I looked through this time. So yeah, so hey, look, we got a Mio Figma coming in, which is like a posable figure for some folks who are into Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I know I am waiting to play that game still. I'm waiting for the volume 4, which by the way, they did talk about in the Nintendo Direct, but I've chosen specifically to not talk about it because it's just so spoiler filled that I cannot believe they showed all that. I'm just not gonna get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people were really pissed about what they saw. So yeah, but anyways, like excited but also pissed that
Yeah.
they had to see it. Here's a new Chun-Li figure that actually looks pretty good. So for all the Street Fighter fans out there, which I know we've got a couple. And let's see here. There was like some other pretty cool stuff. Speaking of Danganronpa, they do have Papa Parade figures for Danganronpa coming up soon. Yeah, so all of these that you're seeing here, like these drawings ones, these are the so-called planning phase. Here's the prototyping phase where it's just gray, and then finally these are ones that are like almost ready for you to pre-order, like within the next couple of months, like 2-3 months. Like you should see it in the shop.
Yeah.
There's a new Joker. What is it? Nendoroid coming. I'm surprised that they're still making Joker Nendoroids for all the Persona fans out there. So yeah, this whole list will be available for you to see. I will have it linked in the description down below. This is the coolest one. This is like a Ruby, like 4 scale figures that can combine into like just one thing kind of deal. It's probably $1,000 for the whole thing, but it's 4 separate figures, so
Sure.
for what it's worth. Yes. So again, link to this and more in the description down below. You can watch it. You can go through it at your leisure. I just want to cover the fact that this happened, and we won't get too much into it. So you can see there's a lot more like robots and animated things that you may be interested in. So yeah, I'm not going to get into every one of these.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we are about to wind things down. So let's go ahead and respond to a couple of questions that we ended up getting from the super chats here. So it's actually just a couple of quick ones here from
Okay.
Duo Beard, who said, "Happy early Valentine's Day, Super Derek
Hey!
and Baku." And thank
Happy
you.
early Valentine's Day, man.
Yeah, very much appreciated, man. Quick reminder to everybody: Valentine's Day just around the corner. In case you have, that special someone that you forgot to buy something for. You have a couple days left to scratch something together.
We did just talk about a couple games that are released on February 14th.
I
So,
know. Yeah.
just saying, could
Yeah,
be
if
a
you
last
pre-order them,
resort.
You still have time to pre-order them as a gift. Just throwing that out there. And then Duo also threw out there, young Super Derek was once afraid of card games. Specifically,
Which card game
card-based
were you
combat
afraid of?
games. Combat games, like
Oh.
yeah. I mean, there were only a few that I had ever really played much of. I tried to get into Baten Kaitos, couldn't do it. Tried to get into Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Densetsu. That eventually I figured it out for my review of the game for my over 9,000 subscribers special. Because of course I would do that. But yeah, I didn't really get into them, and I would like to try at some point trying a different one. Maybe I would enjoy it at this point. Maybe Lost Kingdoms, would be good, which was also on GameCube. Man, for people who just liked standard RPGs, Nintendo just did not deliver the goods for us on the GameCube. Like every time they got kind of close to making an RPG that like just a normal turn-based RPG fan would like. They're like, oh, Final Fantasy on GameCube, and it's Crystal Chronicles. It's like, oh, we're gonna do it, and it sucks.
Yeah, I remember Crystal Chronicles. Oh my god, that
Like,
was the thing.
I'm sure that there was probably a couple of like good ones, but for the life of me, I can't remember them, and that's to this day why my GameCube collection is trash. Like, it's the GameCube
Yeah.
was great. It had some really awesome Zelda games.
Yeah, about that, I remember playing Crystal Chronicle with my ex at the
yeah.
time. I was in high school, and the whole time I was just like, "What are you thinking?
Yeah.
What is this?" Like,
I
high
don't know.
school me did not appreciate it, and no, it's definitely not one of those games that aged like fine wine because I still don't get what they were thinking.
Oh, Tales of Symphonia. Somebody just mentioned that. Yes, Tales of Symphonia was good. I think I played a little bit of it.
Speaking of Tales of Symphonia,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah. That's coming out later.
yeah, it's coming out soon. Should we go back and watch the video? Should we skipped it, but do you want to?
I really don't care. No, I cannot. Yeah. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I think that covers all of the super chats that we got so far. So, if you enjoyed today's episode, despite its lack of Symphonia coverage, be sure to give it a like or a thumbs up or whatever it is on the various podcasting platforms you may be enjoying this on. As always, I'm Super Derek. Baku, any closing thoughts for the people?
Yeah, we're eating good this year,
Oh yeah,
and
man,
it's
so good.
only February.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.